Hello and welcome back to the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host Lex coming to you straight from the heart where the talk is real and the vibe is always live. Thank you for tuning in with us again to RDDC, because here serving a slice of everyday life is what RDDC is all about. For any show requests, feedback, or anything under the sun that you can think of, get a hold of us as always at, always for now, at Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com. That's yandex.com, and as well as realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. Like I said, mentioned in previous episodes before, we do have a realdoubledosechannel.com being loaded with wonderful gifts and apparel and so much more, and as well as just a little nice surprise, but we'll definitely be featuring that as well. In the meantime, on the Blogspot, we do have a wonderful insights, links to our books at the bottom of the Blogspot in the About Me section, as well as wonderful pages and insights going on throughout the blog. Now, there has been, Anthony has mentioned a couple pages that have technical difficulties. Some people have reported that they're reading the blog and different ones are there. I don't know if it's the blogger itself or what's going on. The other pages seem to be working okay, but maybe something happened with the HTML breaking in there. We're not sure, but we're working on it. Also, remember to tune into Stitcher Radio, tune in Spreaker, Spotify, Blueberry.com, or Blueberry, iTunes, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, as well as Podcast Addict, Deezer, so much more. Like I told you, they keep expanding, and we're just happy and thankful for you tuning in, and as well as knowing that we have giveaways, vacation giveaways, and so much more, and as well as our wonderful little secret sauce, amazing book that is going to be released here hopefully before 2020 happens, right on the knack of it, but the cover's done and we're just waiting for the editors. So yeah, I cannot wait to release this. My voice is coming back a little bit. It's not super strong, but it's a little raspy, but either way, we're on here now, and I just want to say you're amazing, you're wonderful, beautiful. Thank you. So without further ado, this is hashtag Life's Roulette. Yes, hashtag Life's Roulette, not Russian roulette, not roulette itself right now, but Life's Roulette, hashtag Life's Roulette. And I just think it's time for us to talk about this for a moment, shall we? Now, anyone shouldn't, but I can't promise that every episode is going to be super long or super deep to hit every single person out there, but those who are the hundreds and thousands of you that we do know that definitely listen in, it hits everyone a certain different way. For i.e. example, my beautiful mother thinks one of these little blankets she always wraps us around in, wraps herself, and I just take a little piece for myself, is a blue blanket. Now, I can see where she gets that from. It does look kind of bluish, but to me it looks like a hunter green or a greenish blue, right? So at the same time, everything permeates to hit everyone as well. And remember, on that Blogspot, you can find links as far as the music disclaimers, just common sense disclaimers, and so much more. If you want to have any insight, just want to throw that out there. Some people will take a message and use it for the value of what the system is supposed to be using it for, and some of us hear other things that are applied differently. So we always say encourage you to use it the best way possible, but hashtag Life's Roulette is basically the game of life itself. And I was thinking about this, and I had watched an episode of Wonder, and it almost reminds me of I Shouldn't Be Alive, but in a whole different way. It's more of a I don't know about that. Well, I guess I Shouldn't Be Alive was more for incidents that I recall, incidents that happen to where life or death experiences, and Wander's kind of like that too. I don't know if they're the same company, or I don't know what they are, but it's still some good episodes on there. So I was actually watching one of those episodes, a few of them, and there was one that stood out in particular. But at the same time, just like this 90-year-old gentleman who told me, I guess he's a retired doctor, I heard this morning, he said, hey, you know what? And I'm sorry, it's just the cutest thing ever. He was in his little scooter chair. I was like, what is that, sir? He was like, I hope you're having a nice day. I said, well, thanks. I hope you are too. It's a little chilly. He goes, you know what's red and stops at green, or what's red, to stop and green to go? And I was thinking, I have no idea. And he said, well, when you eat a watermelon. And I was like, oh, okay, ha, ha, ha. But as it sunk in later on, a few moments later, one of the nurses and I were speaking, and they were like, isn't that adorable? You never stop to think about that. When you're eating a watermelon, you eat the red, okay, that's red. You can go on red and stop, and green on stop, right? So it's vice versa, right? Green usually go, and red is usually stop and traffic lights and so forth. But in this case, red is go and green is stop. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. So it was kind of amusing, but it kind of goes into this. Now the episode I was looking at for Wander was one of these episodes was in particular. A lady was kidnapped from her home abroad, from leaving abroad to Turkey, I believe it was. She was in some city in Turkey on a vacation. Long story short, she fell in love, didn't go back to the UK with her friend, and went on a nice little paradise back and forth, had a kid, and learned later on, it was becoming very physically abusive, and kidnapping happened and all kinds of stuff. But ultimately, she decided, even from the get-go, when the first one happened, when she escaped, was, hey, they came back, the jurisdiction was the child was born in Turkey, so she couldn't do anything with that after they went to court in the UK. So she was thinking to herself, okay, she was obviously devastated. But the child was about 6 or 7, I believe, at that time, and her father had custody, so he took him back to Turkey. In the meanwhile, through the years, she rebuilt herself, got a place, got another boyfriend, did so much, tried to move on with her life. Still, obviously, concerned about her son, and, obviously had contact with him. But at the same time, she didn't return with them on the initial trip. Now, even though he tried to get her to return a few years, in between, back, she was like, no, I'm not trying to have it. So all of a sudden, he hired some people to kidnap her and basically bring her back to Turkey. And, she knew what was waiting for that whole lifestyle. Now, when I say lifestyle, I'm not meaning the beautiful people of Turkey. Okay, we have no idea how different people live, and I know I've heard it's gorgeous, I've seen pictures of it, but we're talking about the individual she was with, and he happened to live in Turkey, okay? I don't know if he was from there or not, whatever, but at the same time, it's like we're just talking about that, so just keep your mind focused on just the people, not the places and so forth. But ultimately, when she did go back to have her kidnapped, she decided to go along and just not make so much of a ruckus for her son that was already traumatized with the things going on. Poor kid, we don't know. But ultimately, at the end, through the courts and everything else, she decided not to have a file charges against him because she didn't want Turkey or whatever, the law over there to, basically side with him, from how things are more customary tradition. So she returned back to the airport, and once again, she left. Now, she went back home. Now, she still kept in contact with her child once he got a little bit older. He got a chance to have more freedom when he went to the university and so forth. But she said she still recalls that incident of going on. I mean, of course, the husband that she was married to in Turkey tried to persuade her to stay, but she said, no, I can't. Now, to me, the reason why I'm telling you this story, you might be like, Lex, where are you going with this? Look at the episode, okay? It's not hard. Go on YouTube, put WONDER, and look up, lady gets kidnapped from her home abroad, and I'm pretty sure it'll pop up. It's just recent, I think. So anyways, just check it out yourself. But what has stuck out to me from telling you that story, I'm sharing it with you because we're family. We coordinate, we talk, we elevate each other, we move around, and don't get it twisted. I have something else to tell you too. The whole thing is with hashtag Life's Roulette is the simple fact that she was willing to take a chance on her life without thinking about being out of bounds, right? And what I mean by that is a lot of people have these other episodes too where they, women were fighting for their child, and some are younger, certain things. And I'm not saying by any means, whatever way you feel you have to go about it, that's your gut instinct. But in this case, it stood out to me because I looked at her and I was like, man, go lady. Like, yes, you had this child. And it seemed to be her first child. She was happy, excited, but she knew ultimately enough to have faith in what is and what created us all, and faith to understand that the issue that he was creating, although it involved the child seeing it and being a part of it, it still was directed towards him and her because of his toxicity. And at the same time, she was woman enough to say, look, I'm going to step out of the situation because if I stay, I'm not going to have any more teeth. I'm going to have more black eyes. I'm going to have more issues that could wind up dead. And my son's going to see more drama happening, at least to his own mother. You see what I mean? So I like the fact that happened. It made me look at her strength. She played life's roulette in the way where she believed it was going to be better for her and him, her son, and also it seemed to be better ultimately because he still went to the university and still has a relationship with her formed to this day. So was it the right kind of choice at the moment? We don't know, but she definitely chose a roulette. life's roulette, because she could have had completely no idea what was going to happen or not, but she chose that and it seemed to work out just fine. So what I'm saying for all of our applications of life is, what is the roulette that we play? I've noticed that with my age and my time, I don't have time for more drama, and I'm pretty sure you can too. Now, even if I was 21, you still don't have time for the drama. Hey, be happy we even made it to the age of 15 at this point, okay? I'm like, so age is nothing but a number. Don't let it hashtag Aaliyah say it again. But ultimately, what are we playing hashtag life's roulette with? I get tired of the stuff that I put up with. I get tired of the stuff that I see continuously go on. And it's more than just the effects of everything. And I have shared with you many times where I'm like, man, and many have shared with me, hey, Lex, I can't get out of this ruckus. It seems like every time I'm going great in my business, I go straight down. It seems like every time my relationship is going good, it's a 25 rocks. But that is the point of growth and uncomfortability. Now, it's different going through the same synopsis of everything continually happening and expecting a different result, understanding the insanity point of it. But the same thing is, if you're still taking 3 steps forward and you're taking 1 step back, you still made 2 steps forward. Now, that's a whole different scenario. But I mean, the same thing for an incident that happened, with somebody that I was trying to get closer to me and look at them as more of a, friendlier little sister perspective. I found out that they were a little bit more unconducive and a little bit more conniving than I thought that they would be. And after that was exposed to what they were doing when I wasn't, availably physically there, I was kind of like, a snake will always tell you it's a snake when it bites you the first time. You'll know it's a snake anyway. But once it bites you, you know already it bit you. So don't be surprised if you pick it up again and again, and let alone you pick it up too many times. That poison could definitely sink you to the point where you don't bounce back as quick or you don't bounce back at all. So I'm going to put that out. I'm going to put that out there. Life's roulette, hashtag life's roulette, is the point that what are we getting to the point of what we're not putting roulette on? What are we not chancing for the same ball metric system of what roulette is actually called? Setting in those lines. What are we going to chance at that moment? Are we going to let that happen? If there's a guy or a girl that we want to confess how we feel to, when are we going to take the roulette on that? If there's a meditational practice or some kind of understanding we need to do to get closer to ourselves and what we need to do, when are we going to do hashtag life's roulette on that? When are we willing to take a step forward to do the things that we have set aside for many and thousands or possibly even hundreds or possibly, hundreds of seconds, thousands of minutes have set back to where we still have them sitting on a shelf collecting dust. No matter what they might be, your greatest accomplishment of success, our greatest accomplishment of accessing the things that are waiting for us have always already been there. And life and all the things that we've been hypnotized and programmed and reconditioned and rewashed to understand will still hold us down. But if we're listening to enough clarity in our lives and giving enough opening for it, there's nothing that can hold us back to it. Hashtag life's roulette is definitely something that we all have to play at one give and take or another. It's the same thing. I mean, we play life's roulette anyway. When we get into a car, when we wake up in the morning, we turn the water on. Okay, we don't know if we're going to slip and fall. Knock on wood. You don't know if something's going to happen in that car. You don't know if you get into a relationship, you're going to catch a case or catch something or get pregnant, right? You don't know if you're going to have a healthy child. You don't know if you buy that house is going to work out. Hashtag life's roulette falls into play even when we're not willing to play it, basically on our own whim. Okay, when we're not willing to play it on our own whim, it still happens in this game of life. But ultimately, we still have the power to be able to do things on our own hashtag life's roulette. The things that we can execute on, the things that we can keep ourselves away from, whether it be work issues with people, certain coworkers, or certain things that are just not, panning out. We have the right to sit in the corner and drink our coffee and not have to say a word. Hey, how you doing? Goodbye. Have a good day. There you go. We have the right to say, hey, maybe not. Do your homework. Sit down, relax. Let's spend some family time. We have the right to say, hey, let's go on a date night, or hey, let's have a romantic night. Hey, let me focus on my vision and my goals and keep all the other stuff out of the way. We have that right. That is the truth. And the truth will always set us free. So no matter what we stand, no matter where we are with whatever we're doing, hashtag life's roulette, Maybe the raspiness is getting a little too deep here, but let me cut it short here soon for you. All I know is that one thing we need to start doing is taking a chance at what life has to offer. Taking a hashtag life roulette at what things are available to us. And even if they're the most minute, minuscule, coolest things out there, or the most craziest things out there, you want any help with that or anything else you want to say, send a shout out to our email. We'll definitely get you a whole script written up on some of the things you want to execute, whether it be opening for business or just basically being about that life, whatever life that is, enhancing who you are or enhancing others around you. We're always free to do that for you. But I'm just saying, no matter what may happen or what life may give, make sure that we're taking that beyond the Monopoly board. Make sure we're taking that beyond to the point where we can say, look, we pulled the trigger on that hashtag Life's Roulette, and we're doing what we need to do. We're taking a step forward. And no matter how many people say, well, when are you going to give that up? Oh, well, I mean, why are you still doing that? I don't understand it. Like, it's not getting you. Well, just because you can't see where it's getting me from the inside first, where the seed is planted, doesn't mean that what's coming on the equivalation of what I'm planting as far as the Life's Roulette is not going to give me in my favor. Okay, the little spin craps table or the little slot machine is going to have 777 or some cherries in a row eventually. And I just say hashtag Life's Roulette is all a part of the strategy of life. And we have to know the game and the cojones to play it. There's no point in being fearful of who we are and the power and what we have. And there's no point of always wishing what another person has when we have probably more than what they'll ever get. We need to hashtag Life Roulette and play the chances on ourselves. And make sure we just don't second guess another snake bite from someone else, but step to the side and let that snake slither through and go past us. We need to make sure whatever we do in the greatest effects of what we can, no matter what incidents or accidents or things might happen to jeopardize more of life itself and our daily struggle just to survive. And in some way, shape, or form, we need to make sure that we definitely have the fullest opportunity to play Life's Roulette for exactly what it is. And that is taking the initiative to be all that we can be and harvest all that we have and continue to move forward with whatever that is and whatever section of life and opportunity that is available. So I love you, and I definitely wish the best for all of us. Hashtag Life's Roulette. This is your host, Lex, coming to you straight from the heart where the talk is real and the vibe is live. And also make sure you know to continue to be the change and feel the passion, embrace the power of that wonderful spirit that is inside of you. That's not just a quote, that's facts of life, never fiction. And just shout out at yandex.com, the Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com if you feel like you need any more questions answered, as you always do. And we love to answer them. And as well as just make sure you're doing what you need to do and signing up for those giveaways. And thank you to our sponsors, GiveMeAllThat.com, and as well as Bernetti Solutions. We appreciate you. We love you. You're amazing. And we'll be back with you very, very, very soon.